Hello and welcome back to the straight line section of the SQA Higher Maths course. Today we're going to look at lesson 4, which is gradients and angles, bracket m equals tan theta. So interestingly enough, the gradient of a line is equal to the tan of the angle between the line and the positive direction of the x-axis. Okay, let's have a look at why that is. Scroll down a wee bit here. Oops. So let's look at this diagram. So as we all know, the gradient is the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. Now if we look here, this theta, this angle, will be equal to this angle, which is the angle between the line and the positive direction of the x-axis. So that angle and that angle will be equal. If you're thinking, well, why are those two angles equal? They are corresponding angles, if you remember back to your angle work, or F angles, as they're more commonly known. If you remember back to your angle work from S2, and theta is a Greek letter. It is often used to stand for an angle, but you've probably seen theta at National 5, so that's probably not a new thing for you. So the gradient is a vertical change over the horizontal change, and if we do tan of, looking at this right angle triangle, tan of this angle will be the opposite divided by the adjacent. So the gradient is the vertical divided by the horizontal change. Tan of theta is the opposite side divided by the adjacent side, which is also the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. Therefore, m, the gradient, is equal to tan of theta. Okay, now that's something that comes up in the exam almost every year. You need to remember it. It doesn't really come up in the rest of the course, so it is something that we do. Obviously, you'll get practice at doing it in your past papers, but it is one of those things that you need to remember. So let's use it in a few examples. So example 1, calculate the gradient of the straight line shown in the diagram below. So we know the angle between the positive direction of the x-axis and the line is 32 degrees. So m equals tan of the angle, m equals tan of 32 degrees. So m, the gradient, will be 0.62, which has been rounded to 2 decimal places. Question number 2. Find the angle that the line joining P and Q makes with the positive direction of the x-axis. So I've not labelled this P and Q, but I've done a rough diagram just to look at what we're actually working out. So there's P, I've labelled with a dot, there's Q. We're asked for this angle here. What do we know about this angle? Well, we know the gradient of the line is equal to the tan of the angle. So let's work out the gradient of the line using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 as always. So the line has a gradient of 3. Now the tan of that angle is equal to the gradient, so tan theta will equal 3. So I don't want tan theta, I want to know what theta is. That's what we're asked for in the question. So theta will be the inverse tan, or tan to the minus 1 of 3, which to 2 decimal places is 71.57 degrees. And that's off question finished. Find the size of angle theta shown in the diagram below. Right, so here's the slightly tricky question. They've put theta there, but remember, if we're using m equals tan theta, theta is the angle between the positive direction of the x-axis and the line. So here, when we use m equals tan theta, we're actually going to be finding this angle, okay? So they've called that theta to cause a little bit of confusion, or to test for proper understanding. So I'm just going to call this angle here A, which is the one we're actually going to be finding. Okay, so m equals tan of A. So A will be the inverse tan of 5. So the angle A will be 78.69 degrees. So theta will be, well, what will theta be? Well, we've got a right angle here, haven't we? So theta will be 90 minus 78.69, which is 11.31 degrees to 2 decimal places. And that is everything. Remember guys, when you're trying the questions from the exercise, all of the answers on the revision section of the Higher Maths on madrasmaths.com. Okay, so please use that as you work through. It's very, very important that you're checking your answers as you go. And get in touch with your teacher if you're not sure about something, as always.